Did you know that stokvels have been in our communities for almost 100 years? They started as stock fairs where farmers used to trade cattle but also socialize and exchange ideas. Stokvels primarily became a way to ensure a dignified funeral. Today, stokvels are not only used for burial but for building houses, buying land, investing in the JSE and wealth creation. There are over 15 million stokvel members nationwide and 44 billion rand generated by stokvel members every year.
Welcome at the Stokvel Academy, where we are continuously searching for information to develop ourselves as Stokvel members, as the Stokvel community. I actually want to put more emphasis on the Stokvel as a community, because we know that historically Stokvels form or played a very important role in terms of our economic journey as Black people. It's one movement that, in my view, still needs a lot of attention from all sectors, be it government, be it private sector. It is one sector of the community that is not getting the necessary attention and the support that it deserves, and yet it keeps on oiling our economy, through a culture of saving. A lot of people battle with saving money. I'm also battling myself. But once you are in the Stokvel community, the key word is nothing else: save to create better life for yourself, save to create wealth for yourself. Today we are honored at the Stokvel Academy to have a young guest, Sihle Tshengela, who's a BA graduate in psychology and also has got qualification as a, I think are you a practicing lawyer, Sihle?
Not yet. I still have to do my articles. Yes, I'm still waiting to complete my articles, then I get admitted.
Okay, no, that's great. But anyway, welcome, Sihle, and I'm looking forward to tapping into your wisdom as a young person and your views about this movement called Stokvel. I know Stokvel. Yeah, just tell us a little bit about yourself and your organization, the outreach program in Alex.
Okay, thank you. I think I've been involved in outreach work for quite a number of years, even during my studies, in different capacities. So, for example, while I was still studying, I worked with an organization, Sihle Tshengela, Disability Center, where I was giving out free legal advice to the center in terms of improving the legal policies and all of that. And I had a team of students that I was working with. So now in my postgrad, basically this year I've been busy with shadowing a Roodepoort Magistrates Court, where I sit in from time to time and observe proceedings. But my main focus, especially during this time of COVID right now, has been an organization that we started with a friend of mine called the #100 Challenge. And what we do in the organization, which first we thought was just going to be a once-off thing where we find 100 families in Alexandra and we try to make sure that we supply them with essentials like food and warm clothes during this winter period, and anything education related, if possible, for the children. But then we partnered with another organization, A Rays of Hope, which saw what we were doing and they came on board, and they basically now we're working under them. It's to make our project more sustainable in that regard. So we started a GoFundMe page where we have now people from all over the world who can donate to the cause, be it money or you buy a parcel online. So we partnered with Pick and Pay, where you literally open this app, the Breeze app, it's called. You literally open the app and you can select there on the app, which, okay, donate maybe a food parcel worth 200 via Pick and Pay. You click, Pick and Pay will put everything together and deliver it to Rays of Hope for us.
Question or suggestion rather is that how could you tap into existing stokvels to support your movement?
Definitely, I think we could, because Stokvel, as I was saying, they viewed in one dimension almost, like Stokvel as a grocer or as a I've never heard of a Stokvel that is also reaching back into the community. So it's something we should actually look into, because there's a lot of resources that are now sitting in the banking system and via eTokvel, and we could literally tap into that and ask people like, listen guys, this is what we're doing. We would like your support as umphakathi, because at the end of the day, sebenza within this community. And it's always best when how can I say, they say charity begins at home, you know. So that would be a wonderful actually step to take, which I don't know why we didn't consider that.
Okay, no, no, I was just trying to plant that seed. As I indicated, I believe Guti Stokvels, they are nothing else but us, the community and all. So initiatives like the one that you've started, in my view, should be somewhere, somehow getting support. I know some of the Stokvels are battling, abanye abanayo kwalomali ukuyisave because they've lost imisebenzi and all that, but not all Stokvels are battling, So as you move on, and going into the future, we need to see how can we incorporate Stokvels into working with youngsters like you, this being a youth month. I always say that Stokvels were actually started by young people like yourselves. Even though khona manje mawucabanga istokvel ubona umuntu omdala, umkhulu, umalume, u-auntie, we forget one thing. Just like our struggle, young people were at the forefront, struggle. So now with Stokvel, I think we need to use the same energy to actually take our economy forward. Do you think Uguti Stokvel as a model, it has got a role to play in helping students in whichever way? Now that we are having this conversation, and I think your mind has been stretched a bit about the Stokvel movement. Yeah. What's your take on that?
Okay, I think it certainly does, and I think a lot of students, unbeknown to them, because they don't formalize it, but see, Stokvel, a lot of students, especially on campuses, and I can speak from my own personal experience, people are involved in Stokvels without even realizing which is Stokveling. And everybody knows which month, and guys, let's buy grocery like this. Guys, let's do XYZ around the house. But it's not formalized with Stokvel. I've lived like that for a good 3 or so years, yes. And we didn't call it a Stokvel or anything. It was just Ubuntu, neighborliness. You stay at a rest for some time, you get to become friends with people, and you realize, why, if I do all of this by myself, it's really going to be quite a bit, So what we used to do, everyone buys their own groceries and all of that shop. But if ngiyapeka Monday, ngipekela my neighbors also, like maybe ngipekela abantu abayi-3 Sihle sonke. Then I know on another day someone else will assist us with something else. If I need X from this person, I can easily go and appeal to them and tell me, So it wasn't communicated with guys is Stokvel, but we actually kind of lived like it was.
There was almost like a social
yes, like a social contract of some sort, that's unspoken, that finish.
Yeah.
So it
that's
becomes
quite interesting.
I think we looked at it more as an extension of a family, because obviously when you're on campus, you have to create another family environment for yourself. You can't live as an island on your own. And so I think to bring it back to the point of 76 and youth especially, I think it's almost in our DNA as Black people, humanity. That one, anywhere in the world you can go, Black people naturally, and without saying anything about other races, which maybe they're not. But I think sometimes we don't think, like, we look down on our own ideas. We think ukuthi istokfela, as you said, it won't help me with anything. And whereas sometimes it's more of, I think, a branding thing, like the way we package them. I mean, we could really sell stokvel as like some type of investment, a serious banking option. This is stokvel, it's a black banking system, effectively. And we need to really start looking at it like that.
No, I'm happy, Sihle, ukuthi you've touched on those key nuggets, like, the banking system, Ubuntu, working together, in the way the Muslims have done it, the spider web. Ngoba yonke into is inside the spider web. Imali iyajikeleza ngaphakathi. Like you were saying, we are pega, unceda abanye, it's not actually formalized, so to speak, even with the challenge students abhekene nayo esiyaziyo sonke ye-funding, I don't want to put my neck on the block here, but don't you think the conversation should be, how can we look into this movement to, amongst other things, in a kind of formal way, address this financial challenge? Because siyazi ukuthi kunabantu abama-graduates namhlanje abafundiswe imali kamama nogogo ye-stokvel on an individual basis. That we know about that. Can't we take it maybe a step higher? What's your take on that one?
I think I'm not really getting the question.
The question
how
is,
can we use stokvel to fund education?
Yes.
I think we definitely can, but from my understanding, and it's like, well, the problem I've seen with the banking system, from what I know, maybe you can correct me, but they can't have more than 10 million or something like that. When you registered as a stokvel in the account, you can't keep more than 10 million. So meaning, it's as if they're saying, we just here to buy groceries as people are made Stokvel. We're not serious about education and things like that you mentioned. So the system itself has kept it. If you're making more than 10 million, you have to be re-registered as some type of, investment fund or something else, but you can't use the name Stokvel and benefit from whatever rates are given to stokvels. So I think the system has like those kind of barriers for anything that is called or calls itself a stokvel, from my understanding at least.
Yeah, I think technically you are correct. Ukuthi kunalawo limitations within the banking system, but it doesn't mean that we cannot work around that. In that the foundation would be scala stokvel, and let's say, for argument's sake, up to that limit, 9 million as an example. But if we embrace the principle of stokvel, we actually can now take it to a higher level. Whatever fund. I'm not a financial expert, I want to make a disclaimer, but I still feel that we can use that as a base and build. My favorite example is the AVBOB. Abaningi abantu bayazi AVBOB. AVBOB yaqala as stokvel samakhulu, nothing else. And ironically, it was in 1918 when we were faced with the Spanish flu. That's how AVBOB was started. And I've always been saying this now, here we are today, COVID-19,
Yeah. No, definitely. I mean, that's why I'm agreeing holistically. Those are things we need to do, Stokvel, because stokvel should be something that it should be a norm, as I keep saying. It shouldn't be there's banking system and then stokvel. Stokvel is part of banking system, and we need to recognize that it needs to be a form of entry almost for a lot of people into formal banking. It's the easiest way for us to get into a formal banking and understanding these things, these big terms about investments and all of that, and stock and trading. We can do all of those things through stokvel. And I think it would be great, actually, if that were the case, and we should definitely push in that direction. And even this thing which is stokvel should be limited at 9 million, 10 million. It's actually nonsense, because I mean, those are things we should challenge by continuing to invest in that regard without, because it's not something that we do quite a lot. So the more and more people are joining stokvels and using them creatively as we're talking, the more then the sector will actually listen and take us more serious and say, you know what, umcimbi wetokfela ngathi unamandla nje, serious, and we can actually then have more power to change it and define it for ourselves as to what it means, because it can really be anything. It's not limited to these, as we keep saying, crosser. Not that to say it's unimportant, not to say it's unimportant, but there's definitely a lot more we can do. Yes.
No, I totally agree with you. I work a lot with stokvels within the grocery sector, and it pains my heart to note Uguti, part of the stokvel savings, 13 billion rands goes into grocery stokvels per annum.
Wow.
Billions, not million, 13 billion that goes into buying groceries. And I'm not against buying groceries as well. But my gripe is, if you look at the value chain of that money, that 13 billion, whose wealth is being created out of
where
that?
Where is it being spent? Exactly.
Where is it being? Yeah, exactly.
Because
my philosophy is about wealth, creating wealth. Now, if there's 13 billion that is being circulated in our economy by ama-stokvela across, ama-stokvela own wholesalers.
Exactly,
Where
because
are the
that money
stokvels in that value
going
chain?
straight from the stokvel to Raymond Ackerman, wherever. If he's no more in Pick and Pay, but it's going to those companies, the big outlets out there. It's literally going directly from the bank out of the black community. There's no circulation of that money at any point, even if at least we say it's to educate one person, as you said, to take someone to a university, to invest in something. That should be the case. It should not go from my pocket to a stokvel to macro. I mean, we losing the point. Then it comes back as Romani creams or choice assorted over Christmas, and that's the end.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
It's a different state of affairs. Then you made me so. I'm a passionate person.
No. You're sharing the same passion. I'm telling you. I actually have what I call a love-hate relationship with this crosser story, because I do understand what people need to save money to buy the basics. I've got no problem, but I do have a challenge ngokuthi primary focus ukuthenga siconsume, just consumerism. That's one of the reasons why I invited you to this conversation. How can we actually now move away from that original way yokuthi sizobeka imali siconsume sithenga igrosa, yes singcwabane, the burial clubs, which is fine, still plays a very important role in our lives. But we are here today faced with the COVID-19 challenges, faced with recession and all that. We really need, our president made it very clear that we need younger people to actually help us steer this economy forward. And it's people like yourselves, in different movements that can actually tap into well-tried and tested recipe like stokvel and take it forward. No, look, I think this conversation needs to carry on, but also action plan. I'm not sure from your experience, has there been a stokvel conversation within your network as inja? I know you said beniyenza esikolweni, nibeka imali, nithenga igroceries and all that. Do you think we need to steer this conversation further within the young student movement?
I think we definitely do, because it introduces people to the financial sector on a relatable level. It's not talking down to anyone. It doesn't have any fancy jargon. It's easy to get a hang of it and easy to go forward with it, instead of, if I were to talk to now young people, guys, you guys need to invest, you need to buy stock. People don't even know where to begin. And the only access some of people do have to that is on social media, and there people are trading or doing forex and whatever, and there's a negative connotation to that, which is some people are scamming. And then there was the WhatsApp stokvel, which was also brought a bad name to Stokvel also. You know, so I think there is definitely a big market that can be tapped into. I mean, you shocked me, Mauti, the 30 billion that's circulating.
Yeah, it's actually it's 50 billion in total that circulates, and then 13 billion, 13 billion, it just goes into groceries. So
Listen
50
to
billion rands, it's mind-boggling. And
Listen to
imali
that.
abantu abayisebenzelayo bayisave, and you know, yeah, some stokvels, I must give credit, they've done amazing things. The stokvels who've actually invested in property, you know, from places and all that. So there's a lot of things that we need to look to you. And our philosophy, Stokvel Academy, it is about wealth and wisdom. You know, that's what we are preaching. And I'm looking forward to actually engaging with you further, not just having a conversation, maybe Sikata Iribon, where we are opening this business venture, yes, Stokvel Academy, young people like yourselves. Yeah. Share, subscribe, and to all the other Sihles out there, please join us and subscribe on our YouTube channel and follow us, and let's share wealth and wisdom amongst ourselves as the Stokvel community. Thank you very much.
Bonga khulu, Mama. Thank you.
Yeah, Boma. Keep well. Stay safe.